Say what? 2,500 subscribers? Are you freaking kidding me? You guys freaking rock. Yeah! I'm gonna say, it's absolutely amazing what you can accomplish by finding something you like to do, pushing through, being consistent, and just continually striving to get better at what it is you like to do. And the number one thing is, don't listen to the naysayers. They could be the closest people to you. Doesn't matter if they like it. There's like a billion other people in the world that could potentially like what you're doing, which we've just proven. There's 2,500 of you that like this ugly mug for some reason. What? Now, the plan for this week was to stick with our step-by-step build series that we've been doing. And if you had been following along, you would know that the natural next step to our van build would be getting the wiring harness all set up in our van, as well as all of our switches, our display module, and even our little Wi-Fi pouch for the whole heater system to be operable. So I sat here, got ourselves all reacquainted with our wires because we did pre-label everything ahead of time and started recording so that we could make this video. Welcome back, peeps. Are you ready? This week, we get to install our wiring harness into our hydronic heater and fire it all up and make it run to where we got heat inside the van. So what we gotta do is we gotta take Welcome back, my peeps. How you guys doing today? So I started recording, showing you guys where we were gonna put the wires, what they were hooking to, where we were putting the switches, how they were getting hooked up, as well as underneath the van, hooking up our wires and everything for the diesel heater and the fuel pump. And then we're gonna run these wires down through the hole in the floor, and we gotta hook it up to our diesel heater, as well as our fuel pump that's behind you. But something happened. Whoa. Why do you gotta jump to conclusions and assume it's a bad thing? Why can't something happening be a good thing? I don't know. You're gonna have to hit that subscribe button as well as that notification bell though, because I don't know if it's gonna be revealed in this exact episode. But while I was underneath there trying to figure out how I was gonna do this, as well as how to record it on the camera, because finding camera angles underneath there is no easy task, my phone actually ended up going off. And I'm telling you, timing is everything. If you put in the work, I saw a quote the other day actually, the harder I work, the luckier I get. My phone honestly did go off right as we were underneath the van installing these wires. And then we're gonna run these wires down through the hole in the floor, and we gotta hook it up to our diesel heater, as well as our fuel pump that's behind you. And I'm telling you, this is my first time ever doing a van build. I'm just winging it here, my friends. I'm not saying my way is the best. I'm just showing you how I did it. Oh, and there goes my phone again. What the heck? Hold on. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna wait because Rickson's just messaged us and they actually want me to call them. So hold on, let me make that phone call.
Oh, I like that way better. Okay.
You know it's better.
Yeah. Oh, well. YouTube had another perk here because I caught this ahead of time. I love it. I love it.
So let me talk to Jim, and then I put something together, call you again.
Perfect. Thank you.
Cool.
Talk to you shortly. All right. Bye-bye.
And that phone call was freaking amazing, my peeps. Now, it does actually make all of this stuff completely irrelevant to our whole build. So everything I recorded prior to this is unusable now. But without telling you too much, because we'll have more on that next week, hopefully, they did come up with a couple things that I should look at with what we built earlier that I need to share with you guys. So one of the comments they made was about the pump and how we mounted it. And it actually brings me back to what my initial idea was. And I'm kind of excited about that. It makes a lot cleaner hose run. So I'm going to remove all these hoses. Ouch. Which is much easier said than done. But now we can make the changes that need to be made to our plumbing system. And that change starts with this piece right here. On our chat groups, somebody actually asked me if this was a 12-volt turbo. I gotta say, I got a good laugh out of that. But no, it's a 12-volt pump. And a vane type pump. So when you mount these kind of things, it doesn't say it in the instructions. I wasn't aware of it originally. But again, this is my first van build. I've told you this. But this pump needs to be either in this way and out, straight up and down. Or if you're gonna put it on its side, this piece here has to be to the top of the input. That's so that the air, if you do get an airlock in here, it has a way to escape, or if it's upside down, your air can get trapped in here, and then you're gonna end up with a whole bunch of hassles on your system. Now, the way this is, if we mounted ours on top, it would have to be on this side, which would make our hose routing really, really bad. So I'm gonna switch this straight fitting from this heat exchanger here, and the 90-degree fitting that's underneath the tank, I'm gonna switch them. So I now have the 90-degree fitting on the heat exchanger, and I have that straight fitting on the bottom of the tank. And now our pump will be able to mount directly to the bottom of the tank right here, and then run across straight into our down port that goes down to the diesel heater, making this way more simple and a lot less connections than we had before. And now for our return line, we can just run our hose straight up to our heat exchanger with our new 90-degree fitting. As you can see, that looks much cleaner than it did. And then for our hose from our final heat exchanger to our fan and back to the reservoir, just like what we had before. Except, if you had remembered last week when we were at this stage right here, we had said we're short exactly one hose clamp from completing the job. And now we actually have leftover clamps and fittings, meaning we used less clamps and fittings, meaning less chance of leaks, my friends. And I really do love this pump being here. Now I know when it moves, when it's pumping, there's no way it's going to cause any vibration noise up against our walls or our framing. And it also eliminated the need for this little clamp type bracket that they gave you with that pump, because now it's fully supported by the hoses. And in this corner, we just screwed it right down to the floor, so everything's nice and solid and nothing's going to move around on us. Is that worth a thumbs up to the video? Let me know. But that leads us into the next conversation of starting something new, which is the fear of making a mistake and or just failing in general. And that's a true mental block for everybody that tries something new. But you're gonna make mistakes. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Whether you're trying something new or just doing your day-to-day life, mistakes are gonna happen. How you fix those mistakes is what judges your character. And failure, well, there's nothing you can do about failure either, except for just keep trying and learning to get better at what it is you do. Because even if you fail, I'm sure you learned something along the way, which that's a win no matter which way you look at it. And the other thing that Rickson's brought up to us about our install was underneath where we hooked up our fuel lines, underneath here by the fuel tank. His concern is that when we teed that line off and we put the larger line on, that is something that you do have to do. But typically they recommend tapering it back down right away from that T connector, which we didn't. We ran over top of the fuel tank with the larger line, then teed it down afterwards. So we pulled that larger hose out from over top of the tank, moved the reducer up closer to the T, and ran the smaller line all the way back again and hooked it back up to the fuel tank, as you'll see right here. Or maybe you're not going to see that footage. So right now, it is 3:45 in the morning, if you can see that. We're editing our video. And that footage underneath the van does not exist. Either the camera messed up or I messed up. But either way, you're going to have to take my word for it that we fixed it. So now that I've owned my mistakes, I don't know what else to talk about. So I'm going to pour myself a couple whiskeys. And we're going to have ourselves a well-deserved rest inside the hot tub. Oh, and let me tell you how good that feels. Because every once in a while, you just gotta celebrate a little bit. And well, we have to wait for our new parts to arrive. And I'm telling you, what's coming up is freaking cool. And I hope what we provided this week still brought some value to you guys with us owning our mistakes. But I really did want to get a video out this week because, well, you know, a little while ago, we kind of made this comment because we were promising Sunday videos at the time. That's the reason why that's coming to an end, my friends. And ever since we did that, we've become very inconsistent. And the thing is, humans are just like any animal. We're creatures of habit. So if you create a habit, it's amazing how much easier it is to keep going and be consistent. As soon as you break that habit, it's way too easy to avoid doing what you need to do. And all of a sudden you go like 2 or 3 weeks without completing anything that you needed to get done. But I'm gonna drink this whiskey. And think about all the things we need to do to keep this show rolling forward. But of course, we can't sit around too long because, well, sitting around thinking about it and talking about it doesn't get anything accomplished. And we have a ton of parts that we gotta try and figure out here. Like this part, where we gotta try and figure out how we're gonna cover off this edge somehow and make it look pretty. I don't know. Stick around and figure that one out with me. And we've also had a few other companies reach out to us this week. Like I'm telling you, this has been a massive week for Dares Drives. Now, some of them I just said no to right off the bat because they don't fit the channel. But there is one other one that's a really big deal for me. And I'm pretty excited to share this with you. So once again, you guys are going to want to stick around to see that. So, if you made it this far, haven't hit subscribe yet, maybe consider doing so. No pressure, of course. You do you. If you have subscribed, thank you, thank you, thank you. Maybe consider hitting that bell. And with that being said, my friends, we will see you next Sunday.
Perfect.